What you're about to see is a compilation of tips for beginner streamers like me. Stuff that I've found that works for me, and I hope you enjoy. One is stream. Start with the stream. Number two, immediately mark timestamps of good moments that you're going to clip after stream. Then, after stream, obviously you're going to look back at those timestamps and clip those moments. We're going to post 2 videos the night of stream, and then we're going to set up a schedule to post another couple of videos the next day. And by doing that, we're going to develop a schedule of streaming and clipping and TikToking. That's how we build a business. That's how we build a business, folks. You need exposure if you're going to get people on your Twitch page. You don't want to say that you're streaming right now on your video. You don't want to say that because people hate ads. I hate ads. You hate ads. Nobody wants an ad. More retention and stream tips. Most small streamers under talk, not over talk. They also self-censor interesting thoughts. They apologize too much. Viewers aren't thinking, quote, he's annoying. Why don't he just needs to shut up? They're not thinking that. They're thinking, oh, I get what he's doing. I could probably stay a while. I could stay a while and watch this guy, and he seems like a good streamer. And they're going to stay. We want to stream 3 to 4 days a week maximum 3 to 4 days. We're going to start at the same time, give or take 30 minutes for 2 to 3 hours maximum. You want repeated exposure, not overexposure and burnout. New viewers don't really binge unknown creators. And as far as viewer retention goes, always assume every viewer is lurking. There are viewers out there who are just in it for a good time. They're just looking for a streamer to watch, someone who's really into the game. Your job as a streamer is to bring the experience out to the viewer, to place the viewer in your shoes and carry the weight of the game for them without giving them any responsibility except for influence. You want to make sure your viewers have influence on your stream because that makes them feel important. That makes them feel like they matter. And they do. Every single one of your viewers matters. Always talk as if someone is watching, but don't directly address them, in the early stages. They might just be lurking around. They might just be looking for an experience. And like I said, you want to carry that experience for them on your back. That's your job as a streamer. React out loud. Narrate your thoughts. Tell them what's going on, but not too much. Tell them what you're thinking. But if it doesn't matter, you got to ask yourself this question. Does it matter? If the answer is no, don't say it. If the answer is yes, go ahead and bring that out. That'll make the experience more palatable for a new viewer. Give viewers a role. Like I said before, your viewers want to feel like they have some sort of an influence and part in the stream. That's a very key component to retaining viewership. Ask for their opinions. Let the chat vote on things. Let the chat influence loadouts, paths, and builds. Every person feels powerful with just a little bit of influence. Every person feels like they matter with just a little bit of influence in the stream. Don't be annoying. That's another thing. There's a rule called the 70-30 rule. 70% intentional talking and 30% silence. Letting the moment pass, letting the moment be the moment. Think, I'm letting the viewer in my head. I'm letting the viewer in to experience what I am experiencing without any of the weight of experiencing it themselves. They want to be guided through the experience by you, the streamer. That's your job. You have to take on that role. And when you do that, when you think, I'm letting the viewer in my head, I'm giving the viewer some insight that I'm experiencing. If you think about that, then your dialogue becomes less forced. It becomes more selective and natural. But don't over-narrate. Over-narration kills the mood. Over-narration will be distracting rather than immersive. Just the tiny things that are really obvious on screen that's happening. Let the video game do its job. You do your job by pulling out some insight and thinking for the viewer. And let the viewer take their role as a bystander, because that's really what they are. They're bystanders wishing for an experience to be guided through to experience without any of the weight of actually playing the game themselves. If you over narrate, it makes you seem robotic and self-conscious and like you're trying to keep the attention of the viewer, and that is insulting to the viewer in a sense. If you're talking all the time, narrating every move like it's your last, you're very obviously trying to keep the viewer hooked. And the viewer will understand that. The viewer will know that. The viewer will sense that. And they'll move on. So what you really want to do is narrate your decisions. Key decisions throughout the playthrough. You want to tell people what you're doing, and it makes the viewers feel smart and involved. The viewer wants to be as smart as you are when you're playing the game. So that means you have to be innately good at video games to a certain degree, right? And so if you let them in on your insight, they'll feel smart and they'll feel important. You want to narrate your predictions. Viewers love being proven right or wrong, right? With you. The viewer wants to be proven right. The viewer, if the viewer agrees with you, which if they like you, they will, whether you're right or whether you're wrong, the viewer loves to be affirmed, either right or wrong with you. Then they're experiencing a little bit of the game with you. That joins your experiences together. It makes the viewer one with the player to a certain extent, you know, just ride on that line. You want to narrate your reactions. You want to be authentic with your reactions. You want to avoid overhype. It'll be very obvious to the viewer that you're trying to hold their attention, that you're dangling the carrot. You want the viewer to smell the carrot. You don't want the viewer to see the carrot. You get what you understand what I mean? So they're always left wanting more. They're always left wondering, what does this guy have that he's offering me? But they don't see the carrot. They can smell it, but they can't see it. But once they see it, it's very hard to get the viewer back into the immersion, to be immersed again after you've kind of made it obvious that, yeah, hey, I'm trying to keep you here. I have a motive. I'm trying to steal your attention. You want the viewer to give you their attention. You don't want to try and steal it. You want the viewer to willingly give you their attention. That's where it's at. So another thing, a quiet and thoughtful streamer is always better than a loud and forced streamer. If you take the attitude of slow, thoughtful, methodical, you know, you have intention with every move. That's what viewers like to see. They don't want it to be forced. If it's forced, they see the carrot, they're gone. If you're loud, they see the carrot, you're gone. You don't need to be high energy, you just need to be present. And your presence will, more often than not, keep the viewer engaged, rather than your high energy, cheap, forced state of play. And we're not going to stream more than 2 to 3 hours a day. That's kind of a given for small streamers. You don't want overexposure. You want consistent exposure, just at the right amount. So don't sit there, you know, streaming 5-6 hours a day, hoping to get lucky, because that's not going to work either. We're moving on to the next step here for small streamers. You kind of gain a little bit of traction. You've got 2 to 3 consistent viewers. You want to remember names. You want to remember their names. If they say something in chat, you want to banter with them. You want to ask them follow-up questions as to make them feel heard, seen. But again, not to see the carrot, just to smell it, just to get a little taste. Don't give them an overabundance of attention, because you're still playing the game. You still got a job to do. You've still got to carry them through the experience, but just sprinkle in a little bit of recognition here and there. Like, oh, Bobby69, it's good to see you again. Welcome back to the stream. You know, if someone joins, Joey32, welcome back to the stream. It's good to see you again. We're playing this game, and sort of update maybe when you have 2 to 3 consistent viewers and they're a little late to stream. You might want to just update them just a little bit, but not too much that it breaks up the gameplay. This is all very, very easy to say, but it's much more difficult in practice. So you just have to practice it, which is why I want to mention pre-stream activities, pre-stream practices for you, the streamer. So before your stream, you want to spend about 15 or so minutes just playing the game, narrating your thoughts, just get into that groove, get into a flow state, if you will, before you actually start streaming. Okay. You want to narrate your experience. You want to be in practice before you even press the button. Just 15 minutes before your stream, practice narrating decisions, expectations. If you make a mistake, acknowledge the mistake and narrate the mistake. Narrate your feelings about the mistake, how you're going to rectify that mistake, and make observations. Any observations you have, narrate them. You don't want to skip over any insightful thoughts that you might have about the game, because that's why you're here. They want you to carry them through the experience. So you don't want a lot of filler. You want to narrate your decisions, expectations, mistakes, and observations. Usually what feels repetitive to you feels fresh and new to the viewer. So what feels repetitive and annoying to you might be a breath of fresh air for a new viewer coming in and experiencing your stream for the first time. Even recurring viewers, they eat it up. You know, they eat that experience up, because again, you're just leading them. You're leading them through your thought process. And that's what gives you more personality as well. Be opinionated. Don't be afraid to express your opinions, because it molds your personality. It makes the viewer more acquainted with you, rather. Next, I want to talk about TikTok clips. Twitch is the destination, not the funnel. You're going to have a really hard time getting discovered on Twitch in your early days if you don't have some sort of social media exposing your channel to several different forms of media. Making TikToks, making Instagram reels, posts, anything you can do to spread your channel, to spread your content, is going to help you in the long run, and even in the short run, gain more traction than if you were to just stay on Twitch. There's hardly anyone who ever makes it just streaming on Twitch. You want to start a YouTube, you want to post your VODs, you want to post clips, you want to edit your videos. If you get to that point, you want to start editing your videos to be YouTube palatable. You want your videos to be just to follow some sort of linear path to where, so you want to keep the momentum up to where you can edit the video and post it on YouTube and have a good YouTube video for people to watch outside of your stream. That's going to get you even more exposure. And if you get big enough, it's going to become another revenue source. It's going to become a great source of revenue for you. Posting TikToks. A 2 to 3 hour stream will give you 5 to 10 good clips that you can use to post every day between 12 and 8 p.m. every day. And if you do that for 30 days consistently, you will grow. So if you get 5 to 10 clips on your one stream, you can post 2 that day and two or 3 the next day when you don't stream. If you do like a alternating schedule off and on, if you take 5 to 10 clips from your stream, you can post 2 that night and 2 to 3 the next day. And that will explode your exposure. Your streams are a gold mine for recycled content. That's exactly what you want to be doing when you post on TikTok. You're just recycling your content. And when that content gets recycled, it gets recycled into new audiences, and new audiences will be coming to your stream from TikTok, from YouTube, from Instagram, from all these places that there's so much of a wider audience beyond Twitch. So, okay, another thing you never want to do is tell people that you're live on Twitch in your TikTok video. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see an ad. Nobody wants to see self-promotion. They just want genuine, authentic content, and that will naturally bring them to your Twitch page and your TikTok page. If you have genuine content, that will bring way more than if you try, again, and force it. That's just a few tips that I have for small streamers. I didn't intend on making this video. I just started talking. This is my 15 minutes before stream that I am talking to the camera just to talk. This is me getting warmed up to stream. And I'm trying it out. It's a new thing. If it works for me, I might make another video about it. But for now, it's just a tip that I'm trying. So if you want to try any of these tips, and if you found this video at all helpful, click that subscribe button. Thank you for watching.